Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Change Dude podcast. I am your host, Saeed Rafi. Today, we are embarking on an exciting and crucial journey into the world of sustainable technology. Our episode is all about green coding and sustainable software development. So today, we are going to take a deep dive into how our code, our cloud, and our computing practices are impacting the environment, and what we as developers and tech professionals can do to change that trajectory. As our industry grows and artificial intelligence, machine learning, and massive data processing becomes more integral to our lives, so too does our responsibility to the planet. Today, we will explore the background of green coding, examine the environmental impact of software and cloud computing, and discuss future trends driven by artificial intelligence and increasing computing needs. Then we will dive into practical approaches, what green coding and green cloud practices look like, and how a paradigm shift from FinOps to GreenOps is shaping our approach to sustainability. We will also highlight initiatives and organizations that are leading the charge in green software development, share inspiring examples of how a focus on sustainability can drive innovation, and ultimately provide you with actionable strategies to make your work more eco-friendly. So let's get started. To set the stage, let's talk about why sustainability in tech is more than just a buzzword. Over the past few decades, the rapid evolution of technology has led to incredible advancements. However, these advancements come at a cost, and that is our environment. First, consider the amount of energy that data centers consume. Data centers, those vast warehouses of servers that power our digital lives, are estimated to account for nearly 1% or more of our global electricity consumption. With the growth of cloud computing, this figure is expected to rise as more businesses move their operations online. In addition to energy usage, the heat generated and the carbon footprint associated with cooling these data centers have a significant environmental impact. Moreover, the explosion of software development, particularly with artificial intelligence and machine learning, means that our computational needs are skyrocketing. Training large AI models, for instance, requires massive amounts of processing power and energy. A study by University of Massachusetts Amherst estimated that training a single AI model can emit as much carbon as 5 cars over their lifetimes. This startling statistic underscores the urgency for sustainable practices in our industry. Historically, tech was often viewed as a clean industry compared to manufacturing or heavy industry. But as our digital footprint grows, so does its impact on the planet. Every line of code we write, every application we deploy, and every cloud-based service we rely on has a hidden environmental cost. And as developers, we have a unique opportunity and responsibility to mitigate that impact through sustainable practices. Over the next segments, we will explore what green coding is, the principles behind green cloud practices, and the evolving concept of GreenOps, a shift from traditional financial operations, FinOps, to environmental operations in tech. Before we dive into the practicalities, let's reflect on the broader picture. Sustainability in tech isn't just about reducing our carbon footprint. It's about ensuring that our technological progress doesn't come at the expense of our planet's future. As we push boundaries with innovations like artificial intelligence and quantum computing, we must ask ourselves, how can we build a future that's both technologically advanced and environmentally responsible? This is the promise of sustainable software development, It's the intersection of innovation and responsibility. And it's a conversation we all need to be having. Let's move further with discussing the environmental impact of our industry, specifically the role of software development and cloud computing in our carbon footprint. Data centers are the backbone of modern digital infrastructure. They store, process, and distribute vast amounts of data for everything from social media to financial transactions. However, these facilities are energy intensive. Global data centers currently consume around 200 terawatt hours of electricity per year. It's a figure that is only expected to increase as demand grows. The source of this electricity vary widely by region. In some areas, renewable energy sources like wind and solar are prevalent, while in others, fossil fuels still dominate the grid. The environmental impact is significant when data centers rely on non-renewable energy. Additionally, data centers produce heat and require advanced cooling systems, further adding to their energy demands. Software development itself might seem intangible, but its indirect impact on the environment is substantial. Consider the training of large AI models. These require tremendous amounts of computation. Training state-of-the-art AI models can consume hundreds of megawatt hours of energy. For instance, research has shown that training a single deep learning model can generate carbon emissions equivalent to the lifetime emissions of several cars. Moreover, as software systems become more complex, they demand more computational resources. The growth of big data analytics, real-time processing, and 24/7 online services contribute to increasing energy consumption. It's a classical paradox. As technology enables more efficient processes, it also drives exponential growth in computational needs. Cloud computing has revolutionized the way we manage and deploy software. By abstracting infrastructure and offering scalable resources on demand, the cloud has enabled rapid innovation. But this convenience comes at a price. Cloud service providers operate massive data centers that require significant energy inputs, and while many are investing in renewable energy, the transition is still ongoing. Recent reports from companies like Google and Microsoft indicate a strong push towards carbon neutrality. Google, for example, has been carbon neutral since 2007 and is now working towards operating entirely on carbon-free energy by 2030. Yet, the broader industry faces challenges. A report by International Energy Agency warns that if current trends continue, global data center energy consumption could triple by 2030. As AI and machine learning become more prevalent, these energy challenges will only intensify. The key is to balance our technological ambitions with a commitment to sustainability. This is where green coding and green cloud practices come into play, which we will delve into next. Now that we have established the environmental challenges posed by modern tech, let's shift our focus to solutions. Green coding and green cloud practices are strategies designed to reduce the environmental impact of software development and cloud computing. Green coding is all about writing software in a way that minimizes resource consumption and energy usage. It involves optimizing code for efficiency, reducing the computational load, and ultimately lowering the carbon footprint of software systems. Some key principles of green coding include efficiency, writing code that executes faster and uses less memory can reduce energy consumption. This might involve optimizing algorithms, avoiding unnecessary computations, and using efficient data structures. Then, resource management. Smart resource management, such as proper handling of memory allocation and deallocation, ensures that programs run smoothly without wasting energy. Next comes scalability. Designing software that scales efficiently means it can handle growth without a linear increase in resource usage. Next comes minimalism. Avoiding over-engineering and unnecessary features helps reduce bloat, which in turn lowers processing demands. To further understand, let's have a look at some practical examples. Consider a web application that's built using optimized queries and efficient algorithms. Such an application not only runs faster but also consumes less CPU power, translating into energy savings at scale. A study by Green Software Foundation found that even small improvements in code efficiency can lead to significant energy savings when deployed across millions of devices. Now, it's also important to talk about green cloud practices. When we talk about the cloud, green practices focus on using energy efficiently and minimizing the environmental impact of data centers. This can include energy-efficient data centers, which are using advanced cooling technologies, energy-efficient hardware, and renewable energy sources to power data centers. Next, serverless architectures. By abstracting the server management layer, serverless architectures can optimize resource allocation and reduce idle time, thereby saving energy. Comes next, dynamic scaling. Cloud platforms that automatically scale resources based on demand ensure that you are only using the power you need. Then comes carbon offsetting. Some organizations invest in carbon offset programs to balance out their emissions. For example, Microsoft has committed to become carbon negative by 2030. A particularly interesting trend is the paradigm shift from FinOps, which stands for financial operations, to GreenOps, that is green operations. FinOps focuses on cost efficiency in cloud spending, but GreenOps goes a step further by also considering environmental costs. It's about optimizing not just for dollars or euros or for any other currency, but for carbon footprint. This shift encourages organizations to incorporate sustainability into their financial and operational strategies. Imagine a dashboard that not only tracks cloud expenditure, but also calculates the corresponding carbon emissions. This is the future we are heading towards. I would like to highlight some of the initiatives and organizations that are spearheading the movement toward green software development. First on that list is the Green Software Foundation. This is a collaborative effort among industry leaders, academia, and nonprofits to create best practices, metrics, and tools for green software development. Their mission is to reduce the carbon footprint of software globally. They are developing standards and guidelines that help developers write more energy-efficient code and build sustainable systems. Second comes tech giants and cloud providers. Companies like Google, Microsoft, and Amazon are investing heavily in sustainable practices. Google has been carbon neutral for over a decade and is now aiming for carbon-free operations by 2030. Microsoft's commitment to becoming carbon negative by 2030 is another example. These companies are also developing tools that help other organizations track and reduce their environmental impact. Third on the list are startups and innovators. There is a growing number of startups focused on green technology. For instance, companies like Carbon Cure are working on reducing carbon emissions in manufacturing by integrating CO2 into concrete production. In the software realm, startups are developing platforms that help businesses measure and manage their energy consumption more effectively. The open source community is also contributing significantly. Fourth on this list are the open source initiatives. The open source community is also contributing significantly. Projects that focus on optimizing code for energy efficiency, reducing computational waste, and even creating tools to measure the carbon footprint of your code are gaining traction. These collaborative efforts are crucial in spreading awareness and driving change. Fifth on the list are policy and advocacy groups. Organizations such as the World Economic Forum and governmental bodies in Europe are pushing for more sustainable practices in tech. New regulations and incentives are being introduced to encourage companies to adopt greener practices, from tax benefits to mandatory reporting on energy usage. By supporting and participating in these initiatives, we can all contribute to a more sustainable future in tech. It's not just about individual efforts, it's about creating a culture of sustainability across the entire industry. Let's delve into how a focus on sustainability isn't just good for the planet, it's also a powerful driver of innovation. When developers focus on writing green code, they naturally look for ways to make their applications run faster and use fewer resources. This often leads to innovative algorithms and optimizations that benefit everyone. For instance, optimizing data queries or streamlining processes not only reduces energy usage, but also improves user experience and system performance. Sustainability can lead to entirely new business models. With the rise of GreenOps, companies are beginning to measure their carbon footprint alongside financial metrics. This shift opens up opportunities for products and services that cater to environmentally conscious consumers. For example, startups are emerging that provide tools for carbon tracking in cloud operations, enabling businesses to optimize their spending while reducing emissions. Today's workforce and investors are increasingly mindful of sustainability. Companies that prioritize green practices often find it easier to attract top talent and secure investment. A survey by Deloitte revealed that 65% of millennials consider a company's sustainability practices when deciding where to work. Similarly, green startups are attracting significant venture capital as investors look for socially responsible opportunities with high growth potential. Sustainability drives innovation in the hardware and infrastructure domains as well. With cloud providers striving to power their data centers with renewable energy, we see rapid advancements in energy-efficient hardware, innovative cooling techniques, and new data center designs that significantly reduce energy consumption. These innovations not only benefit the environment, but also set new benchmarks for performance and reliability. Let's have a look at some of the examples of innovations through sustainability. Google's carbon-free energy commitment comes at the top of the list. Google has made headlines with its ambitious goal to operate entirely on carbon-free energy by 2030. This commitment has spurred innovations in renewable energy integrations and data center efficiency. Then Microsoft's AI-driven energy management. Microsoft is leveraging AI to optimize the energy consumption of its global data centers. By analyzing vast amounts of operational data, they are able to fine-tune their infrastructure for maximum efficiency. Third are the examples of green coding initiatives. Various open source projects and research initiatives are dedicated to green coding practices. These projects develop tools that help developers measure the energy efficiency of their code and suggest optimizations. For example, tools that analyze the computational complexity of algorithms and estimate their carbon footprint are becoming increasingly popular. Let's also talk about cultural shift and the role of leadership. Sustainability is also driving cultural shifts within organizations. Leaders who champion green initiatives create a culture of responsibility and innovation. By setting an example and prioritizing sustainability, these leaders not only improve operational efficiency but also inspire their teams to think creatively about solving environmental challenges. It also creates ripple effect. When companies adopt sustainable practices, the impact extends far beyond their own operations. It creates a ripple effect throughout the industry, encouraging competitors to adopt similar practices and driving a broader shift towards a more sustainable tech ecosystem. This collective effort can lead to systemic change that benefits the entire planet. Before we wrap up, let's summarize what we have covered in today's episode on sustainable software development and cloud practices. We started with background and the need. We began by discussing the environmental impact of software development and cloud computing. As our digital footprint grows, so does the energy consumption of data centers and computational tasks. In an era where artificial intelligence and massive data processing are the norms, sustainability is not just an option, it's a necessity. We examined how inefficient coding practices and energy-intensive cloud operations contribute to a significant carbon footprint. With predictions that data center energy use could triple by 2030, the urgency for greener practices is evident. Then we discussed green coding and green cloud practices. Green coding involves writing efficient, optimized code that minimizes resource consumption. Green cloud practices focus on using renewable energy, dynamic scaling, and advanced cooling techniques to reduce the environmental impact of data centers. Together, these practices can lead to significant energy savings and a more sustainable digital infrastructure. We also explored how the traditional focus on financial optimization in cloud operations, as we know as FinOps, is evolving into a more holistic approach that also considers environmental impact, what some are calling GreenOps. This shift is driving companies to balance cost efficiency with sustainability, leading to innovative solutions that reduce carbon emissions while maintaining performance. Numerous organizations and initiatives, such as the Green Software Foundation, are championing green practices in tech. Moreover, tech giants like Google, Microsoft, and Amazon are investing heavily in renewable energy and sustainable infrastructure, setting industry standards and inspiring change across the board. A focus on sustainability is not a hindrance but a powerful driver of innovation. By optimizing code and operations for energy efficiency, we can create products that are faster, more reliable, and less resource intensive. This shift also opens up new business opportunities and attracts talent and investment in green technologies. So here are some key takeaways. Sustainability in tech is essential for reducing environmental impact and ensuring long-term innovation. Green coding and green cloud practices are practical steps that developers and companies can take to lower their carbon footprint. The evolving concept of GreenOps represents a holistic approach to managing cloud operations that balances cost with environmental responsibility. Embracing sustainability not only benefits the planet but also drives efficiency, innovation, and competitive advantage in the tech industry. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the future of sustainable software development. Today, we explored how our industry can reduce its environmental footprint through green coding, green cloud practices, and a paradigm shift from FinOps to GreenOps. We discussed the practical realities of our digital operations, the challenges we face, and the immense opportunities that lie in embracing sustainability. The journey towards a greener tech future is both challenging and exciting. It requires a shift in mindset, a commitment to continuous improvement, and a willingness to innovate not just for profit, but for the betterment of our planet. As developers and tech professionals, we have a unique opportunity to lead this transformation by writing cleaner, more efficient code and by advocating for sustainable practices in every project we undertake. Remember, every line of optimized code and every energy-efficient process contributes to a larger positive impact on the environment. By adopting these practices, we are not only improving our work, but also paving the way for a more sustainable future for generations to come. I hope today's episode has provided you with valuable insights and actionable strategies to incorporate sustainability into your development practices. If you found this discussion inspiring, please subscribe to the Change Dude podcast, leave a review, and share it with your network. Your support motivates me to continue exploring critical topics at the intersection of technology and social responsibility. Until next time, keep innovating, keep optimizing, and most importantly, keep embracing change for a greener, better future. I am your host, Saeed Rafe, signing off from this episode of the Change Dude podcast. I'll see you in the next episode.